Hey there, 277. Welcome back from the midterm break. For this session 9, the only thing on your agenda is the midterm. I don't have a better word for this, so I cannot soften the blow for you. It's a test. It's a midterm test. I apologize for having no better word to call it than a test, but that's what it is. What I'll tell you is I've actually been really, for the most part, satisfied with the work that everybody has been doing, which is fantastic. If we look forward to what's coming up, we have a couple of chapters that have to be broken up into a couple of pieces. So, as a matter of fact, our next two sessions, 10 and 11, are actually chapter 13 broken down into two pieces. So, I really thought that this was a good time to do something that we have not taken time in this class to be able to do, and that is to secure the vocabulary. One of the things that, I'll tell you is important when you are interacting with developers is you need to have the lingo down, and you need to have the lingo down correctly. So it gives us, lingo does, the definitions of things, the keywords, give us a way to communicate in shorthand with other members of our development team, right? So what we've been doing is working on the code, and so far, for the most part, everybody's doing pretty well with the code. The thing that I have not double checked on is whether or not you have all of the terminology correct. So that is what I hope to ensure here with the midterm, is that you are using the terminology correct. So what I wanted to do was take just a couple of minutes here to tell you what to expect on the midterm, and some ground rules for it, and then turn you loose on it. It is 60 questions. They are 2 points apiece. It really does start on chapter 7. I wanted, because we have been working with arrays so frequently here, and they really are such an important part of what you'll be doing with developments moving forward, is I wanted to make sure that we got a couple of those vocabulary items correct with arrays. So really it covers chapters 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. 6 chapters, 60 questions-ish. They are 10 questions per chapter. Now, you can use your textbook. That is not a midterm foul. You can use any and all of the previous homework that you have completed. That is not a midterm foul. Working with other individuals on it, not okay. The questions are a mixture of my questions and some of the textbook questions, but it's mostly not. So I have worked hard to reduce the bullshit, I hope, in how the questions are asked. So if you're looking for like double negatives, if you're looking for me to be able to trip you up in these questions, you are digging too hard. I genuinely mean this. I am trying to make sure that you have the vocabulary correct. I am not trying to trip you into answering a wrong question, because that is garbage. So don't, really, I hope there are no trick questions there. They should, all of them, be as straightforward as I was able, with the language to make them. So there's no devious, tricksy, false shit that some teachers, I know the old-fashioned kind of teacher loves to do that, and it's like, you won't be not enjoying now you have to count the knots. That's garbage. Like, if you work in a place that does that, find a different job. If you have an instructor that does that, find a better instructor. That's kind of the way I've built these tests. They, again, are superficial. It is, definitional in nature. The way it is structured in Eagle, I would tell you the following things are true. And the following things will hopefully lead to the best kind of interaction you can have with the test. Number one, do not use Safari if you are on a Mac, and do not use Microsoft Edge, the older versions of Edge, and certainly don't use Explorer if you are on a Windows PC. You can use Edge Chromium if you are on a Mac or a PC. You can use Firefox, or you can use Chrome. All three of those have no timeout value, so you can keep your test open as long as you would like. That's part true. So there's no time limit on the midterm. You can clearly, again, I'm just going to repeat it so that you can't say I didn't tell you. You can use the textbook. That is fine. You can go forward and back through the questions. One of the quirks of Eagle is that it randomizes the questions and it randomizes their order. So the answers inside of the questions too. So I cannot tell you when you say, like, on question number 21, I don't know what your question number 21 is, because everybody's is going to be theoretically different. So they do not, well, they will not appear in chronological order as far as the textbook is concerned. So please don't hope that that is going to happen, because it won't. You can go forward and back through the test as many times as you like. As a matter of fact, if you want to read through all the questions of the test first and then go back and take them, that is perfectly okay. When you answer a question, Eagle saves it when you go to the next one. So that's actually why I have them display only one at a time, because if I just give you the big page of them, it can create problems. But if you go from question 1 to 2, question 1 has been saved. If you go from question 48 to question 49, question 48 has been saved. At that time, you can close the tab if you want, come back to it later, and finish it at some other time. You can come and go from this quiz as many times as you want to be able to take it whenever you're struck by the need to be able to do so. I personally would not wait until next week Thursday at 11:45 to take it, because you ain't going to finish on time, and you can believe that I'm going to take that 50% penalty right off the top. So don't do that. I don't have a time value for how long it's going to take you. I think that that's totally artificial. Some of you are going to smoke your way through it. Others are much more deliberate, and it will take longer, and that is fine too. You can ask me questions about what I mean in a question, but you cannot. I mean, I think this is pretty clear, right? Hey, this is the question number 21. Is the answer C? Well, that kind of stuff I can't tell you. But what I will tell you is, when you have submitted the test, you can see what the answers are. That is my way of trying to demonstrate this really is for definition's sake, so that you can go to an employer later, and when you are using that lingo in a development team among others in your cohort, you can be assured that you are using those terms correctly. Next week, just as looking ahead a little bit, like I mentioned before, we're going to cover the first half of chapter 13 on classes. It is the next big step that you would take in your development journey here. And what I want to make sure is two things. Number one, that I'm not frying you out entirely on a 130-page chapter, but that number two, we are going slow enough so that you have solid footing as we move. So that's something to look forward to. So reach out if you have questions. My hope is that the language I used is clear, but I know, staring into a camera and listening to myself, my language is not always clear. So if there is any of that you would like a resolution to, please reach out and we will get that for you. That is the only thing on your docket this week. So have at it. Welcome back. Here's a test.